Ethan spent the rest of his classes waiting to finally get back home until the bell. 7th period rang and he finally could leave. Ethan had to walk himself home. While he never had too much of a problem with it, it was hard lugging his stuff around. 10 minutes into the walk home, he passed by a house of Andrew Jones. Ethan had known Andrew for 9 painful years. Andrew had a vendetta against Ethan and actually tried to kill him, although no one but Ethan knew. It all goes back to the Rift incident of 1997. Perhaps when the Rift struck that year, it made him aware of a certain artifact in the possession of Nicholas Frost, and now it was the possession of Ethan himself.
One day, Andrew, I'm going to get you for all the crappy days you put me through, Ethan said, looking at the house.
Then Ethan continued until he came upon a card with a large engraving on a tree with a heart, and within was E plus A. It was something Ethan had done in 1997, 4 days after the death of Mick Frost, with a girl Ethan couldn't remember her name, and every day it was harder to remember what she looked like, because a day after she and Ethan did this engraving, the girl died in a car accident. After 2 more minutes of walking, Ethan finally reached his house, and he entered, then put his backpack away before starting his homework, which was reading and was quite easy.
Ethan then ate dinner before James spoke to him.
Ethan Howard Sullivan, I got a call from your principal saying you started 2 fights today, she yelled.
No reason to get so ticked off, Mom. Besides, they started it. I was simply defending myself.
That's fine with me,
Jane replied before leaving the kitchen. After a few hours of free time, Ethan went to sleep. Little did he know that his destiny was coming.
The next morning, Ethan awoke again with a bird singing, but this time Ethan felt like he could take on the world because it was Saturday. He changed into his beige pants, a black t-shirt, and a navy blue jacket. He decided to do some melee training and take his mind off what happened the previous day. Ethan got up and reached for the umbrella stand by the wall in the bedroom and slowly withdrew the wrist sword.
As Ethan grasped it, something within him awoke, and the sword started to glow for a split second. What was that? Ethan questioned, looking at the sword. I must have been seeing things, he added.
After putting on his black tennis shoes and ventured outside, Ethan stepped into the backyard and started practicing horizontal slash, then vertical slash, parrying, blocking, stabbing, and thrusting. After 2 full hours of practice, Ethan put the sword away and went to the kitchen to eat breakfast.
It was then that something odd happened. A hole opened up in the sky, like a rift, right outside Ethan's house. Ethan felt himself being pulled towards it. And with all his might, he tried to resist, but to no avail. Jane walked into the kitchen, gasping at what she saw. Ethan! She yelled. It was then that Ethan was completely engulfed in it. After that, all he saw was the darkness. Ethan couldn't move. Was this a dream? Suddenly, he heard what something like a frog croak. Okay, I'm gonna skip the next few paragraphs because all it is just what happened in the first Land Before Time movie, okay?
Look, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Come on, get to the important stuff already, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, here we go. Then Ethan heard a young male voice speaking to him. What is this thing? It said. Then he felt something touch him. Ethan immediately woke up, scaring a young sauropod dinosaur, which ran into the trees surrounding the north part of the area, where Ethan's now conscious body laid.
Ethan stood up to examine his surroundings, a clearing with a forest north of it, and mountains south of it. A cave was on the side of the mountain. It seemed like a great place to seek shelter, but Ethan dared not to venture inside it, unaware of what could be waiting. Littlefoot hid behind a tree and watched what seemed to be the oddest creature he had ever seen. It stood on 2 legs and had arms like Ducky and Petrie, and it had 2 layers of skin on its body, which the second didn't seem to fully attach, and it was multicolored. There was also what seemed like fur on its head. Its feet had no toes, and its hands had long fingers, a bit like Ducky. Not to mention, it had this strange stick that dangled from his body.
Ethan started to wonder about the dinosaur he saw when he woke up. Then Ethan noticed someone creeping up behind him, since whoever was doing it wasn't doing a good job of it. Ethan could hear the twigs snapping and some quick footsteps. Ethan quickly turned around, raising his sword at the juvenile Apatosaurus' face. The Apatosaurus jumped and stood its ground. Ethan then lowered his sword. Darn it, man, you scared me, he said out loud. Ethan then slid the rift sword back into the seat and turned to face the valley before miraculously hearing the words, I didn't mean to scare you. Ethan turned back towards the Apatosaurus, who hadn't run off yet, and looked hard. Who said that? Ethan said. Then the Apatosaurus walked nearer to him. I did, it said. Holy, you can talk? Yes, I can. What are you anyway? The Apatosaurus questioned. Well, to make it simple, I'm not a dinosaur. I'm a human. My name is Ethan, and you? My name is Littlefoot, the Apatosaurus named Littlefoot exclaimed. Ethan first thought of asking Littlefoot if there was a way to get back to 2009, but he thought there's no way he wouldn't know that. You know what, I like it when the authors point out the stupidities for me. But Ethan knew he needed shelter. Maybe his newfound friend could help him out with it. Is there a place where I can stay? Ethan asked. Yes, my grandparents will know. They're over at the Thundering Falls. Wait till you see it, Littlefoot replied, and with that, he and Ethan started across the valley. The Thundering Falls, huh? I wonder if there's anything like a falls in California. Ethan mused to himself. Okay, there's chapter 1. And yes, you can tell that we're going to have a very long one on hand. How long? Well, we have 3 more chapters. Oh, and not just 3 other chapters, but 3 more stories to read. That's right, I'm having an all-out Fanfic marathon. Stay tuned for the rest. Bye!